Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. Have you got into Club Shay Shay's newest interview with Gary Owen, the comedian? He is fantastic. I think he is a really, really funny guy. But he has a really, really good story. And it probably needs to be on television. Let's get into it. So Shannon doesn't waste any time. He gets right on into Gary and his wife's divorce. I didn't know all the ins and outs. Gary is the one who filed for divorce. He and his wife were having problems, and I'm guessing they knew that they were having problems and wanted to divorce, but he filed. She didn't know. He called when he found out she was being served. She didn't open the door. Then she went to LA and filed because he filed in Ohio. And in LA, she realized that she could take half. So when he realized that, his lawyer called and told him that if she does that and she serves you, that's what's going to happen. He left a whole show and they evaded each other for a very long time. And eventually, she got served in the drive-thru at a Panera Bread because she was stuck between two cars. That's wild. So Gary said that, his infidelity is the reason. He's been caught a few times. And he said that the women that she thought he was with, that's the problem. They were the wrong ones. But he was like, he just got the attention that he had never gotten before. And he and his wife had been together for a very long time. And the biggest thing that he really regrets is not having a relationship with his children. They won't even talk to him on the phone. He does go to where they are. Like, he went to his daughter's graduation. He went to his son's job. But he kind of stays back, right? He does call them. He said he called them about Super Bowl tickets. They said no, he didn't go into that. But you can tell that really weighs heavy on him. And he is at least trying, but he did not have the best childhood. You know what I mean? Shannon asked him, had he always been attracted to black women? And he said yes. And he said, well, how was that? And he said very lonely, because I guess he got more attention from black women when he became a comedian. But he said his upbringing was really bad. His stepfather and his father, they don't have a relationship. He doesn't have a relationship with his mother now after the passing of his brother, Dallas, because his brother had a child and Gary was going to get guardianship over the child, but the mother and the stepfather gave him so much heat. He was like, he had to look out for his own children. But he said he knew what kind of life his niece was going to have, but it was not worth him putting his family through that. And that's unfortunate. And he said the last time he talked to his mother was at the gravesite of his brother, and she doesn't want to talk to him. And I want to say that was 2014. So Gary is literally just going through life trying to figure it out. Because he said when he first got with his ex-wife, she had a son, and he wanted to break up with her because he was scared that his stepson, her son, would feel about him the way he felt about his stepfather. And he didn't want to do that. But she told him, just follow my lead. But I think Gary's a good dude. He just didn't have the tools that he needed. So then Shannon asked him about his twins. Gary has like 9-month-old twins. And he said that he hates to say the fact that he feels like he can get it right this time because he felt he was getting it right with his older children. But he says he's very happy. They love him and it feels good to him. And he says one of them is black and one of them is white. Shannon also asked when was the last time that he had a conversation with his daughter. And he reflected on it and he was like, she was a freshman in high school and she's graduated. I really see how he feels about his kids and I hope he continues to push, but maybe not too much, but hopefully they will come around because he loves his children and Gary wants a relationship with them. He went on to talk about his relationship with the guys from Act Like a Woman and Think Like a Man. They still have a good relationship. He talked about Kevin Hart, how Kev reached out to him during his divorce, and Cat Williams, how he helped him with the limo situation because he didn't want to put it on his credit card. So he has really genuine friendships in the comedic side of the world. But Gary is a cool guy, right? And he seems like somebody that anybody would like. And I'm just glad to know that. Plus, he has crazy longevity in this game. So Shannon asked him about getting his joke stolen, like Cat Williams was talking about Cedric the Entertainer. He said he's not really up on it. He's a little passive aggressive when it comes to that. He said, except for one time, there was a show on Showtime who took one of his jokes and actually made it a skit on the show. And it was the joke that he was talking to a heckler and he couldn't say the N word. So he had D. Ray Davis to come out on stage and he would say what he was going to say and D. Ray Davis would say the N word. And he said they took that and they put it on the show. He was trying to locate and see who did it, but they never could find it out. This man is hilarious. And he doesn't have a special on Netflix. As much as we watch comic specials on Netflix, Gary Owen does not have a special on Netflix. And that is insane because that would be the show of the year. I don't know why Netflix hasn't reached out to him. They are doing themselves a really big disservice. He said he could work every weekend and he is financially comfortable now. And he said the hardest part is just about actually being on the road. But he said that his goal is to be in more movies. I would love to see Gary in more movies because I think he is just simply hilarious. Shannon asked him about the Real Husbands of Hollywood, right? And he said he only did one episode. I don't really remember that one. But he said that he inquired about why didn't they ask him back. They didn't ask him back because his wife wasn't famous. Because everybody who was on that show, their wife was in the business. And he was like, he understood that. But he said he only did one show and he really enjoyed it. He said his dream movie would be the remake of The Jerk that Steve Martin was in. That would be fantastic. A white guy being raised by a black family. He said he could put his own spin on it. I just watched that movie about 3 weeks ago. That is a great movie. And bring it up to today, Gary would kill that movie. That would be amazing. Do y'all remember when he was on Wendy Williams and she asked him out? He said that that's all it was. And why wouldn't he go out with her? He was like, nothing happened. He was like, but Wendy was interested because this was right after his divorce. She was interested, but she was like, let's just have a meal. Let's just talk. And he was like, that's all that was. It never was anything else. He never got with her or anything. And I wouldn't think that that would have happened anyway. I didn't know that he was supposed to be a co-host with Steve Harvey. When Steve Harvey moved his show from Chicago to LA, he spoke to Gary about being a co-host. Well, he thought it was going to be like Ed McMahon and stuff like that, but he was more in the background. And he said he did it for 2 weeks. And he said they would talk about his contract. And he said during that time, he couldn't do any stand-up, and he did a Hollywood Squares. He said he got paid more money on that one show than he did the whole week working with Steve. And he said anyway, they gave him a crappy dressing room, and he didn't want to bring that up to Steve. But he said one of the ladies on the show, I wonder if it was Mississippi Monica, helped him and got him a better dressing room. But he said that it just didn't work out with Steve. No bad blood there. It just wasn't a good situation. And he just moved on. I had no idea about that. He said he got his first chance of being on stage is when he was stationed in California. And he's told a joke and it kind of bombed. Right. But he said he always wanted to be a comic. He would sit outside of the comic stores because he wasn't old enough to get in. And here you have it. I think this was a really good interview and you should really listen to it. I love Gary Owen. And Netflix, give him a special. Y'all let me know what you think about it. It's your girl, Millie Chan. Talk to you later. Bye.